Hello, hello, wonderful people. Hello, Real Estate Investment Society, Sub2, and all other people. Today is wonderful day for me because I'm hosting this podcast, and my guests, really well-known person on real estate market, lady multifamily, Veena Jetti. Hi, Veena.
Hi, Elena. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much. My day is wonderful. What about your day?
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vina. I met you first time on Squad Up back in May this year in Orlando. I saw you on the stage, and I decided I want this girl in my podcast. I
Oh,
want
thank you.
her because she does so much for real estate people. She does so much for women. She is so. For those who do not know, Vina is a lot in multifamily. She is advocate for women in business.
Yes.
She does a lot of charity. She has Venus World Community where she teaches people, she educates newbies and not only newbies, how to be better in real estate. And she has awesome, beautiful, large community on Facebook, Mastering Multifamily with Veena Jetti.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
and thank you so much, Veena. And of course, my first question, could you please tell us a little bit more about yourself? Because there is always something new about any person we
you.
don't know.
Absolutely. Thank you. Like Elena said, I'm Veena Jetti. I'm the founder of a company called Vive Funds, VIVEFUNDS, and we specialize in curating conservative opportunities for our investors. We typically target Texas, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Arizona. I have bought and sold over $1 billion of multifamily assets in my own portfolio. And like Elena said, I'm really passionate about helping others, especially women and minorities or people that maybe didn't go to an Ivy League school or come from different socioeconomic backgrounds, to help teach you how you too can be investing in multifamily real estate and taking advantage of everything that multifamily has to offer.
Oh my gosh. So my question should be, Veena, how do you combine all this stuff? So much to do.
Yes, so I wear a lot of hats. Like you said, you saw me speak on a stage. I speak on a lot of stages. I do a lot of workshops, presentations. I do a lot of teaching and education. I'm also a wife and a mother of twin 5-year-old daughters, which my daughters are the most important thing that I do in my day. Being a mom is absolutely the favorite title that I have is mom. And so I focus on that the most, followed by being a wife and a daughter and a sister and a friend. All of those are actually more important titles to me than being a founding partner or having done $1 billion of multifamily transactions. The way I balance it all is I have a whole village. I have so many people that help me both in my business and in my home life to make everything possible. Otherwise, it's too much for one person to do competently.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those who does not know, Veena is from immigrants family. And and she was raised by real estate investors, so
Yes.
she is pretty much has had basic from the scratch. But anyway, as I read a couple articles about you, Vina, and I know you were able to grow in real estate so quickly, not because you're from investors family, because it's your passion, right?
Yeah.
And especially multifamily.
Absolutely. I don't know if I would call it quickly though, because it's taken me about a decade. I quit corporate America in 2012 and started investing for myself. So it's been about 12 years. I guess some people would say to get to $1 billion, that is quick. I feel like it took me a long time to get here because I didn't know back then what I know now.
Yeah, to raise $1 billion for real estate transaction, it's something. It's
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Thank you. Well, so and just to be transparent, we've raised about 400 million. The rest of the $1 billion in transactions comes from bank debt. So some people count raising bank debt as raising capital, other people don't. So I just want to be transparent.
Yeah, but it's still extraordinary. It's
Thank
still,
you. Thank you.
you know, so many people on this planet, they have no idea how looks $1 million, right?
Yeah,
But you know,
yeah, I'm very
you know
lucky.
much more.
Yes, I'm very lucky.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what strategy do you use, and what strategy have been key to your success in attraction investors? I'm asking right now about capital raising because it's a
Raising
big part
capital.
of real estate investment, right? So, how do you
Yes.
maintain relationship with investors? How you attract them?
So I think the first thing that anybody that's planning to go out and raise capital should do is reach out to your securities attorney. We work with Nick McGrew out of Polymath Legal based in LA, and he's amazing. I've been working with him for 15 years now. And
Mm,
he is well versed in the rules that you need to know in order to raise capital the right way, because the SEC does oversee our investments still. It's not like we just get to go out and do whatever we want. We're still held accountable and we still fall under securities rules. So you want to make sure you get a good securities attorney, number one. The second thing, and this is another really big mistake I see new investors make, is
yeah.
they follow the advice of someone on social media just because they're good at something else. They
Mm,
have a platform, they have a lot of followers. These are not reasons to follow somebody's advice around capital raising. The amount of times I see people selling an unregistered securities, saying it's not a security, or they have some loophole, or that there's some other way around SEC rules. Don't do it. It's the SEC is not stupid. They're not going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, well, Veena really figured out that loophole. No, they are going
mm,
to know and understand. And they have a pretty wide interpretation of how they can respond. So I would just caution somebody when you're listening to a stranger on the internet to be really careful that you are not setting yourself up to get into trouble with the SEC, because it's going to be expensive. It's going to be harmful. It's going to take time away from what you are actually doing and building to have to deal with
mhm.
something like do it the right way. It is harder. So the easy way is to skirt SEC rules and just violate them and do it on the unlawful way. The proper way to do it is significantly harder. It takes more effort, it takes more intentionality, but it's the right way to do it. And I really encourage new investors to make sure that they're raising capital the right way, because it's protective for you, but it's also for your investors' protection. And it's in their best interest that you act like this as well.
Awesome. Great suggestion, Vina. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to mention, so me, my friends who are probably watching right now, us, we are mostly from sub to community. And you know, I know you are Big Pace friend and you are
Yes.
on all his events. It's awesome. What do you think? Is there any uh, main difference between raising capital for single families and for multi-families? What people who are on single family market, what we should know?
Yeah. So when you're playing in like a smaller area, like single family, right?
Mhm.
There are different rules that you could being the operative word, leverage. So for example, there are different securities rules for short-term mortgages which are recorded
Mm,
against the property with a lien. There are different rules and exemptions you can rely on than compared to when you're doing a multifamily asset. Now, again, I caution you that anybody that is teaching you to raise capital, whether it be me or somebody else or whatever, you really want to make sure that you're following proper advice, which is why I think that you want to reach out to your securities attorney first, because there's so much nuance to it, right? So, one small fact about what you're doing could completely change what you can use and what you can leverage from a securities exemption standpoint. I'll give you an example. So, let's
please.
say I want to go out and raise money. Let's say I want to raise, let's call it $100,000. And I am raising on, let's say I have a single family home that I want to buy. And let's say I want to flip it. Okay. So it's a very short term hold. And I have to raise $100,000. And I'm going to go out to four different investors and I'm going to say, hey guys, you're going to be completely passive. You're going to get no decision making rights. I'm going to do everything and I'm going to pay you a profit. and you each give me $25,000, and you will come in as equity partners, and that's how you'll get paid. You are selling a
Yes.
security. You are selling a security, and you need to rely on exemption. The problem with exemptions is they're very expensive, and they're very time consuming to record those properly and do that properly. So what a lot of people will do is they'll go, oh, no, we don't need that because it's all friends and family. That's a risk you're taking, and that is outside of what the security rules say. So there's something called the Howey test, okay?
Mhm.
And this is a 4-part test. If you meet all 4 parts of the test, then you are selling a security, and you either need to register or you need to have an exemption that you can rely on. Here are the 4 parts. I like think of it like the anagram or the acronym is ICES, ICES. Okay, so is there an investment of capital? In this example,
Yep.
I'm going out and raising money from 4 different people. So they're investing their capital. So yes. Okay. C is a common enterprise. Is it an investment into a common enterprise? Meaning, is it shared with other people? Which in this scenario, I'm raising $25,000 from 4 different people. So that is a common enterprise. E is there an expectation of profit? Yes, because I told them I'm going to make all this money and I'm going to split the profit with them and give them 50%, 70%, 90%, whatever that number is. So there is an expectation of profit. And the last one is S, and that's based off of someone else's effort or work.
Yep.
Okay. So that means, are you, as the passive investor, relying on Veena to do all the work, to make decisions, to line up financing, to list the property, to hire contractors, handle the contractors, choose colors, all those things? You're relying on me to do that. So because we answered yes to all 4 of those parts, you're selling a security. So you need to find an exemption to rely on. And by the way, I'm not an attorney. This is just what I know from raising my own capital. So then you need to find an exemption. So for example, you could use a Reg D 506B raise, and I could go to my friends and family and raise money from them. Again, there are challenges to it, and there are like mortgage exemptions. So I could put you on a mortgage instead and record the
Mhm.
lien on the property. I think it's for less than like 9 months. I don't do single family as much, so I'm not as well versed in it. But there are rules that you still have to follow, even in single family. Do not get fooled by the size of the deal that you don't need to do these things or follow these rules. You still have to follow them. The SEC does not care that it's a single family home versus a multifamily asset.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and such a great advice because we always should think about legal part. We should protect ourselves. We should protect our lenders. And actually, you just mentioned capital raising from family and friends. Lots of mentors teach us to start raising capital from family members and friends. But honestly, me and I spoke with several people. We don't feel confident starting with our families and friends because we really need to get practice first to buy several assets to go through the process and to make sure our lender get paid because it's our tax number one, right? To make sure we protecting our lenders. So what would you suggest for really newbies where we should start?
Yeah, so I do like the idea of practicing pitching with family and friends because they're going to be the easiest, and they're going to be the most receptive to allowing you that time, and they'll give you good feedback. My experience is that family and friends oftentimes are going to be the last ones to invest with you. So a lot of times it
Mm,
will be those new relationships. It's actually what I've found to be true is it's not your first layer of friends, it's your second layer of friends. So a friend of
mm,
a friend or someone that's like an acquaintance. In other words, not the people that you have to share a Thanksgiving meal with, the other
yeah.
people in your network. Those are generally going to be the people that are going to invest in you first. And I think that that is important to know and recognize because you can use your family as like a practice pitch, as a way to start the conversation off, as a way for you to get more comfortable talking about it, right? But usually the response that I would expect to hear is, "That's amazing, Veena. I support you. Come back to me on your second deal or your third deal when you have more experience
Right.
under your."
I've had this somewhere some time ago
Yes.
from
Yes.
my friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool, cool, cool. Thank you so much, Fina, for all the information. And I would like to come back a little bit to your projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so in huge respect with you, with everything you do for community, for real estate investment people. Actually, I have several people, several friends of mine who are in sub two, who are in Gator, who are coming right now through your mentorship, who came already through your mentorship, and
Oh,
uh, I opened the secret. Called a couple friends of mine who knew you personally and asked advice what I should speak with you about, because
oh,
people know you, you know it. Yeah, people
yeah,
love you.
I love that.
Yeah,
You really did your
yeah,
research. I'm so impressed.
yeah. I love to know my guests, and I don't have to be like I see you first time. Actually, I met you already. Even you've been on the stage, and I've
Yeah.
been on my chair. Yeah. Cool. So, could you please tell us a little bit about your projects, about Venus Vault, and what is difference between Venus Vault and Mastering Multifamilies Veena Jetti on Facebook?
Yes. Okay. So Mastering Multifamily with Veena Jetti, that's a free Facebook group. Anybody can
Mm-hmm.
join there, LPs, GPs, vendors, anybody can join. And it's just a place where if you're not sure if you want to be in this space or you're just learning, you're not ready to like make any kind of commitments, we do a lot of education in there.
Yeah.
Venus Vault was born in 2022. It's been almost 2 years now. And what Venus Vault is designed for is for those newer investors that aren't really sure, that are just getting started, they're maybe a little bit more nervous. And what I started doing is I do a live free call for the first 100 people that join. So you can always join a
Mm.
Venus Vault call for free. If you come on time or a little bit early, usually you can get in. And then we do our call. I teach about whatever topic, and then it goes into my vault. And there, the recording is available. And then I have like downloads and templates and stuff like that. But that's what Venus Vault is. I have the Multify community, which is a paid community, and it is specifically to take you through step by step and teach you exactly how to do a
Mm-hmm.
multifamily deal. There's like weekly group coaching calls, there's underwriting calls, there's broker outreach calls, networking calls. There's so many different calls in that group. And that community is really like-minded investors. People are actually doing deals there. They're partnering up there. So that's what's really special about the Multify community specifically.
Awesome. Yeah. And do you? What about your part of your idea to be advocate for women in business in real estate? Do you have any new projects are coming, or how do you develop this for your part of your mission?
Yeah. Yes. I actually have a deal right now in our pipeline. We're buying an asset here in the Dallas market, which I haven't bought in Dallas since 2018. I haven't been able to find a deal here. So, and this is home for me. I
Cool.
live in the Dallas market. As far as women go, it's a passion of mine to make sure that women have a seat at the table. There are so many times where I'm asked to speak on a stage and I'm the only woman, or there's 30 speakers and there's 3 women. And I always make it a point to reach out to the organizers and say, like, hey, why aren't there more women? And oftentimes it's we don't know any other women. We've asked them, they said no. We don't we didn't realize it. There's like a lot of different reasons why it happens. But whenever I point it out, a lot of times I'll have them respond and go, oh my gosh, yes, we'd love more. And can you please make an introduction? So I keep a list of a lot of like really
Mhm.
powerful women that can speak on stages. And then sometimes, like this Friday, I'm speaking at an event and I'm doing a keynote. They asked me to also be on the panel, but I was like, you know what? Why don't you give my panel seat? I have 2 other women that I think would be really amazing and would really add value to the room. Let me give them that opportunity instead to speak on the panel, and I'll just keynote. So
Mhm.
I gave them a spot to allow for a keynote of 2, not 1, but 2 other women that are very impactful in my life that have actually helped me a lot. And so I just love being able to create opportunity like that and make sure that we see more inclusion and equity for women.
Yeah, sometimes we all need extra help and extra support, right?
Yeah,
If yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. And do you remember what was the first actual property you got by yourself?
The
What was
first
the story?
thought, single
Yeah.
family. It was a single family home. We were engaged. My husband and I were engaged, and we were living in Washington D.C. And I knew we wanted to buy a condo to live in instead of continuing to rent because we were going to be renting.
Mhm.
So I started looking. Ultimately, found a condo that was in Chinatown, like the Chinatown area, Northwest DC, and put in an offer on it, negotiated pretty hard for it. At that, I'm trying to remember. I think we paid like $525,000, but that wasn't
Oh
really the win.
wow.
Yeah, we still own it to this day, but that wasn't really the win. The win for us was we negotiated against a broker by the name of Jason Trotman. And Jason was just such a nice guy to work with. And I was so impressed with how he showed up. And mind you, I didn't have an agent. I represented myself. And so it was me and Jason, and we were negotiating back and forth with each other. And I was
Mhm.
so impressed with him that not only did I decide that he's going to be my person in DC. He manages our assets there still. He does a lot for me in DC still, but he's now also like a lifelong friend. He was at my sister's wedding, he was at our wedding, just a great guy overall. And so I found a lifelong friend just from doing that very first real estate deal. We still do business together today. It's been 12 years. We still, work together. We still see each other. Our kids get together. So it's really incredible.
Awesome. It's just awesome. It's so awesome. Yeah, just listening you, it sounds for me like another confirmation. So our business, real estate investment, it's human-based business, right? Whatever you do,
Yes. Everything is
build your
relational.
team. Yeah, build relationship, build team. Focus on finding great people who you can support, who you can lead, and who can lift you, right? Because this is
100%.
command. Yeah, it's awesome. Veena, actually, I'm building my business right now. I'm fine. I'm in sub two, and I found my business partner several months ago in sub two, and we are both so lucky because we both are totally different. We are opposite. My business partner
Ah,
Fiona, she likes underwriting. She likes this, small routine, small stuff. She has brain to analyze all these things. I like communication. I like develop my social media, meet
yeah.
people, develop podcasts. And it's right now I listening you, I understand how important it is to build team and to meet
100%.
right people. Million percent, right? And so
Yes,
you mentioned broker. So it means you bought your first property traditional way. It was not
I did.
private money.
Yep, I bought it very traditional financing. I think we put like 20 or 25% down. And
Mm,
then we did a conventional mortgage. It was like 4% at the time. This was 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And so, yes, we bought it traditionally. I actually bought a property for the first time sub two just last October.
oh, awesome. So you found just like all of us on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, well, somebody sent me the deal and was like, "This is an amazing deal," and I was like, "Yeah, okay, why not?" And so I bought it. I really try not to buy single family homes anymore, though, because they're just so tough to manage.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So let's jump a little bit into main topic of my podcast, private money lending world. So
Mm,
you actually mentioned some stuff. You just started buying creatively just last year.
yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
I've
But you,
never
you
done it
look like a
before.
such experience. You look such as experience. Okay. So and do you remember what was your first experience and how it was it multi-family or single family?
Single family. So I started in single family. That was the property that I just mentioned, and we had bought it with the
Yeah.
idea that we were gonna live in it and then move and then rent it out afterwards. So we bought it knowing it was gonna be a rental. Shortly after that, we bought another one in Georgetown. Bought that. Now that was always gonna be an investment property, rental property. And after that, we continued to buy a bunch of houses. And it was when I bought 5 houses in a week. I put them all under contract and I was like, wow, this really doesn't scale. And that was hard. So because it didn't scale, but I love residential because it's recession resistant. It is a commodity that everybody always needs is somewhere to live. I wanted to keep the residential side, but I wanted to get to scale. That's where multifamily opened up for me. And I started
Ah.
investing into multifamily assets.
Mm-hmm. And do you remember what specific challenges did you face early when you entered in multifamily space?
Oh, I everything. We
Everything.
often often have there's always something new because just the sheer size and complexity of the deals that we operate on, um, it's it really takes a lot. It can be very overwhelming and very confusing. I would say that like a few examples, right? When you are in the multifamily space compared to the single family space, you are looking at your vacancy and occupancy very differently, right? Like I see a lot more risk in
Mm-hmm.
the single family space than I do in the multifamily space. Um, I see single family investors whenever, and here's actually a pro tip. If you want to be in the multifamily world or the private equity world or doing commercial deals, stop using the word private money lenders because as soon as someone says private money lender, I immediately know that they are not a commercial investor. They are residential investors and they're doing like
Mm-hmm.
single family duplexes, triplexes, and all that's great. But it's just depending on where you want to be and where you want to go. If you're trying to raise money on multifamily and you come to me and say, I'm looking for private money lenders, I immediately get nervous because I'm like, oh, you don't have enough experience. They're investors, they're equity partners, they're LPs. These are all acceptable, limited partners. These are all acceptable terms. But if you tell me you're a private money lender, it is a sure sign that you don't have enough experience in multifamily investing. So learning that lingo can be really helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, such a big difference, right? So to jump into multifamily, you really don't have to rely on your knowledge about single families, residential. You really need to know a lot, right?
Yeah, I think
How to.
in the multifamily space, you still have to know a lot, but there's so many things to know that you can solve a lot of those problems by finding partners who know some things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is the main difference between raising capital? I probably asked you this question, but you see, we already jumped so much deeply in multifamily, and I understand, I know nothing about multifamily. The more you tell us about multifamily, the more I understand I know nothing. So the main difference, probably you don't use, guys, usually private lenders, right? You use funds mostly.
Yeah, so we do so here's the interesting thing. When in the single family space, right, you call it a private money lender. That's really
Mm-hmm.
just an investor, right? Like this is someone who
Mm-hmm.
invests money. And for multifamily people, when I hear the word lender, I immediately think
Yeah.
debt. I don't think equity, right? So I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Elena's going to be a private money lender. That means she's going to sit in a first or second position lien on the asset. She's not going to be someone that expects equity distributions, right? But
Yeah.
when I say investor or capital partner, equity partner, that to me signals, okay, this is likely an equity investment. It could be either, right? But it's likely an equity investment. And you're probably in the commercial space or you're a little bit more like sophisticated. And I don't know a better way to say that off the top of my head, but you're a little bit further along in your journey when you use those types of words. So I would say that this is a good way to distinguish who you're talking to very quickly out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Veena, what are you mostly grateful for in your life?
Oh my gosh, so many things. Gosh, I don't think I could pick one thing I'm most grateful for. Well, if I have to pick one thing, it would be my children. It's
obviously.
because yeah, it's because of them that I do everything that I do, and they are just delightful human beings, and I am a better person because of them. I get to re-experience the world through their eyes, which I'm so grateful for. I get to see them grow and develop, and like I can't believe I get to be their mom. This is the best job in the world.
You see 5 years already, but you still feel you cannot believe it's just amazing, exciting feeling to be mom, right?
It really is. It really is.
Ridiculous. Okay, what are your daughter's names?
Via and Vivana.
So everything about
All the
Victory,
females. Yes, V for victory.
Ovina.
Ravina.
Yeah, so being mom of two, especially girls, especially 5 years old, they are just in the beginning of their life journey, and plus husband, plus everything. Really, how do you find time?
Uh,
What is your non-negotiable in terms of your family?
yeah. So basically, when I'm at home, because I travel a lot for work. So when I'm home
Yeah.
between like 5:30 p.m. and 7:30 until they go up to bed, all I do is focus on them and pay attention to them. I do activities. They eat dinner and we color, we play a game, or we do a lot of like one on one dates. So I'll take them out, like one of them out to get ice cream, or we'll go to the park. So I protect that time so fiercely, and I very rarely will organize something else conflicting at that time.
Oh, oh. Are you highly organized person? You
No,
have someone who help you, no? You have
not
people
even a
who
little.
try to help. Really?
Yeah.
Do
I'm
you do your day planning? Do you do your time
no,
blocking?
no, I try.
Amazing.
So every Friday on my calendar is blocked from 3 to 5, just so that I can like do the things that I need to do and get caught up. Basically, I get notification fatigue. So now I look at it and I'm like, oh, 3 to 5 is blocked off. That means I can schedule this other meeting then. And no, I don't have a conflict. So it does not work for me. I'm just not that person. But what does work for me is delegating, right? I delegate a lot of things to my team, to my home team, to my work team, to vendors. So I delegate a lot. A lot of my time is spent delegating, but I'm not the person that wakes up with like a to-do list, and I'm not organized. I hire someone to come and keep my home organized for me because I'm so bad at it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's great you have help. It's great
Oh
you
yeah.
have someone, maybe your husband,
Oh yeah.
and you just like two puzzles. Maybe his strengths help you, and your strengths help him.
100%. Yes, absolutely. We complement each other really well.
Yeah, it's awesome. Actually, I read a couple days ago your article and where you mentioned you love to invest in Florida, but today you mentioned you love to invest in several states. So, do you have any particular love to Florida still?
Yeah, I mean, I still like Florida. I worried about Florida because of insurance rates and taxes, but now
Hmm.
Ameren changed their parameters that they'll lend on. There's more insurance liquidity in the market. So I do like Florida generally as an investment thesis, but again, everything depends on the exact, location and submarket and the opportunity and the story of that specific asset.
Hmm. Hmm. Awesome. And then you mentioned you travel a lot for business. Do you have sometimes time to travel for pleasure with your family, kids, husband,
No,
parents,
I
maybe?
mean, yes, and also no. I just love what I do, and so anytime I'm traveling, I'm always trying to figure out how to like turn it into business. So most of my vacation time or my travel time is spent working, but it doesn't feel like work. So it doesn't feel draining or exhausting. I did take a vacation this year with the kids, but I did work through a lot of it. And that was just last month. We went on a cruise, and it was for like 4 days or something like that with another
Mhm.
a few other families to celebrate an anniversary trip. So yeah, I do, but that's the only true vacation I've taken, because like next week I'm going to be in Atlanta, but I'll probably end up doing like a meetup, or making some business meetings so that I can take those while I'm out there so I can maximize my time.
Oh, cool. Atlanta. Probably you will meet my friend Amber McCollum in Atlanta. Yeah, I know you. You know each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I love about what we do is I get to meet so many people, and I get to go to different places, and I have new friends there too. So I'm never bored.
Absolutely. In real estate business, you there is no chance to be bored. No
No.
chance. Such amount information, such amount knowledge you need to get, right? All this
Uh,
traveling, all these events.
right. Right, exactly.
Cool. Guys, actually, we have probably less than 10 minutes left with Veena because you see she's such a tight
Yeah.
with her schedule, busy lady.
Yes.
It's absolutely clear. If you have any questions, please
Yes.
shut in the chat, and Veena will answer all your questions.
Yes.
Okay, and probably one of the last questions from me. Do you remember something funny or maybe biggest mistake you've done
Oh,
after you jumped into real estate, and what did you learn from this story?
many mistakes have been made. I'm always learning. I'm always improving, always like trying to develop my business, my skill set, my abilities. Um, so I guess this is a story Abraham Gray always asked me to tell this story. Um, I was walking into an asset that I was buying. It was a $38 million asset. And I show up, it's like the junior broker who hasn't met me yet. And I introduce myself. I say, "Hi, I'm Veena Jetti. I'm one of the partners buying this asset." And he goes, "Oh, really nice to meet you. Um, so when is your husband getting here?" I'm like, uh, I don't know. Did you tell him about the meeting? Because it'd be weird if he just showed up. And he was like, "Oh no, I just thought you and I was like, "When's your wife coming?" He did not like that as much as I was amused by it. It just goes to show that there's a lot of change and work that needs to be done in the multifamily game to make sure that women are more included, and that that our thinking, our subconscious bias changes, and I encourage anybody listening to this just to be thinking about all the ways that subconscious bias shows up in your everyday life. I bet you it's more often than you really can imagine when you're being intentional and paying attention to it. Like, just think about the next time you're talking about, like, "Oh, I have to go to the doctor," and you're like, "Oh, what did she say?" Right? Most people
Mhm.
default to he, and I always default to she. So it's just like being mindful in these small ways that'll make a difference.
Yeah, it is when, especially when you in business where you should communicate with different people, meet new people. My gosh, it's always
Yes.
something funny, always something
Yes,
funny. And we don't
absolutely.
have to feel guilty after such stories, right? Just it happens. We learn from them.
You learn and then you make better choices the next time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When we've been children, we made the same, right? We were learning
Absolutely.
from something interesting. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Veena, for being here. I really appreciate your time so much, and I'm so happy you've been here with us and to share with all your story and to share such wonderful information. And just anything you would love to give to people, to share with people in the end of our
Yeah.
communication, please.
I think the thing I would tell anyone listening is the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. It's never too late to start investing, to do the things that will change the trajectory of your life and your children's lives and your great children or your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. There are generations that aren't even born yet that can benefit from just one single decision that you make today. And so I encourage you to get out there, do the hard thing. It's hard, but it's worth it. And so just remember, best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
Awesome. Today, the best time. Today, second. I
Today,
love
yeah.
these words. I will. Thank you so much, Veena. Thank you so much, everyone, who been here today with us to support us. I believe Veena gave you lots of golden nuggets. She's such a sweet and helpful lady. I know it. My friends told me this. Who know you, Veena?
Oh, I love
Thank you
that.
so much. Yeah,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much. People
Appreciate you.
appreciate you a
Bye.
lot. And thank you so much. Yeah. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, guys, for being today here with us. I believe Veena was great guest for today, and I will leave her contact under this video. You can reach out to her directly. Any questions you have, you can ask me directly. Actually, I was able to schedule with Veena via Instagram. It was a very funny story, but it's okay. It's another story. For those who don't know, I'm a real estate investor. I buy properties nationwide in red states. So if you want to start investing in real estate, please reach out to me. I can help you to start. I have a large community where people always interested to build relationship with private lenders. So any questions, let me know. And thank you again for being here today with me. Bye-bye, guys. Have a wonderful day.